Tonight we're going to be counting on to express the sum on a vertical number line. So here's our objective. I can understand addition of integers as putting together or counting up by positives and counting down by negatives. We've been working on this for several nights at this point. Now we're just going to use vertical number lines as opposed to horizontal. Let's compare using a horizontal number line and vertical number line. Find the sum of the following. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to go ahead, take the horizontal number line you've been working with, pause the video, try it out on the horizontal number line, and then come on back. All right, hopefully you did that. Hopefully you worked this out and you said, okay, I need to go from 0 to 2, and then I need to go from 2 and count back 4. So I'm going to count back 1, 2, 3, 4, and hopefully you ended up at -2. Let's take a look at the vectors that would correspond to that. Counting up by 2, counting back by 4, ending up at -2. What if we used a vertical number line to find that same sum? That's what I'd like to walk you through right now. Well, the vertical number line is exactly the same, and if I start at 0, I would move to 2, and then I'd say, okay, now that I'm up at a +2, I have to count backwards there. I know I'm counting down because it's a -4, so I count back 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, I still end up right at -2. So hopefully you're seeing horizontal number lines, vertical number lines, it's the exact same process. Positive, we're moving up. Negative, we're going to move back down. Moving up to a +2. Moving down 4 from there, ending up at -2. Let's take a look at another example. Now I'd like you to find this sum, -2 plus -4. I'd like you to start on the number line that you're most comfortable with, your horizontal, and then in a moment we'll work it out on the vertical number line. So pause the video, try this one out, come on back. All right, hopefully you said to yourselves, okay, -2 means I go from 0 and I start right here at -2. Plus a -4. Keep in mind, negative means we're going to move to the left. So from -2, we're going to move to the left 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to end up right here at -6. And looking at our vectors to back that up, you go to -2, then from there you move 4 more, you end up at -6. Let's compare that to the vertical number line. On the vertical number line, we know -2 plus -4. We're going to move to -2, so we're going to start at 0. I'm just going to go ahead and move down to -2. Then if we're adding a -4, we need to move down 4 more. So from -2, I'm going to move down 1, 2, 3, 4 more, and I end up right at the same spot at a -6. And you notice, sometimes I draw in my vectors, sometimes I go ahead and I do my counting on with my little bubbles. Either way is fine. Whether you have a horizontal number line, a vertical number line, you end up at -6 when you take -2 plus -4. Okay, some more examples. I'd like you to find this sum. Again, start on the horizontal number line. Keep in mind, you're going to go from 0 to -2. -4, we're moving left. But when we add 5, we'll move to the right. Same process, but now you have 3 numbers that you're combining. Pause the video, try it out, come on back. Okay, hopefully you paused the video. Hopefully you said, okay, I'm going to go from 0 over to -2. Hey, then I'm going to be at -2. I just did a problem where I added a -4. That ends up back here at -6. Then I say to myself, okay, now I have to add 5, so I'm going to move to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And adding back on 5 takes me right here to a -1. So hopefully you came up with -1 there. Another way you could have looked at this, -2 plus -4, we ended up at -6. negative 6 plus 5 does get us to negative 1. So you can combine the first two values as we did on the number line, then add on that 5 moving to the right. Let's take a look at the vectors. Negative 2 minus 4 more gets us to negative 6. And then we're adding 5 back on, gets us to negative 1. Let's try that on the vertical number line. So I'm going to start here at 0. And I'm going to move down 2. Then from that point, I'm going to move down, sorry about that, I'm going to move down 4 more. That gets me to negative 6. Then I'm like, okay, now from negative 6, I got to count back up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots. I'm like, hey, I'm right there at negative 1. So that vector moves us right back up here to a negative 1. It's going to be the exact same answer. Down 2, down 4 more, back up 5, takes us to negative 1. Now what I'd like you to try to do is I'd like you to try to refer to the diagram to the right, write an equation for the diagram to the right. So think about from 0 where you go, and then what you need to add on to that, and then find the sum. Take a minute, pause the video, try it out. All right, as I look to the right, hopefully you pause the video, I go from 0 down to negative 5. So I'm like, oh, the first number I'm going to be adding involves a negative 5. Then I'm going to add on, then I'm like, okay, from there, how much further do I go? I go 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, and I'm going 4 down. Moving down says, oh, that's negative. Okay, so I'm going to be adding a negative 4. And then to find the sum, I say, oh, well, where did I end up? I went down 5, I went down 4 more. Oh, I'm right here at negative 9. That would be like if the temperature dropped to negative 5 degrees, and then the weatherman said it's going to drop 4 more degrees this hour. Then we're down to a negative 9. So there's our sum. Our sum is a negative 9. Let's take a look at a few examples. Oh, here we have an example involving temperature. The temperature at noon on a winter day was 8 degrees Celsius. At midnight, the temperature had dropped 15 degrees. So it was at 8 degrees, then it dropped 15. What was the temperature at midnight? Take a minute, pause the video, try it out. All right, hopefully you pause the video. Well, I'm like, oh, all right. So at noon, I'm up here at 8. And then from there, I drop 15. I'm like, wow, I dropped 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Woo, I'm way down here at negative 7. So that tells me I start at 8 and I drop. Drop tells me negative or go down 15 degrees. So from 8, I just counted down 15 and I ended up at negative 7. So at negative 7. So then let's try to write the equation. 8 plus a negative 15 gets us to negative 7. Let's take a look at another example. A football team gained 6 yards on a first down, lost 15 yards on the second down, and gained 12 yards on the third down. What yard line is the football team on? Okay, let's take a look. So I need for you to go ahead, pause the video, try this out, come on back. Hopefully you pause the video. So they gained 6 yards. Gained would be a positive. They lost 15. That's going to be a negative. And then they gained 12. That's going to be a positive. So first I'm going to just go ahead and write my equation or my expression that will get me to my final answer. So that's a positive 6 plus a negative 15 plus a positive 12. And you know the positives we don't actually have to write in if we choose not to. But positive 6 is going to tell me I'm going to move up 6. From there, the negative tells me I'll move down 15. And then I have a positive 12. I'm going to move up 12. So I'm going to start at 0. I'm going to move up 6. From there, I'm going to go down 15. So I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15. And then from there, I have to go back up 12. So I'm at negative 9. So positive 6 plus a negative 15 gets me to a negative 9. And then I'm going to add on a positive 12. So I'm here at negative 9. And now I have to go back up 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to get me back to 0. 10, 11, 12. So they are at the 3rd yard line, or they've gained 3 yards overall. Let's take a look at another part. How many yards do they need to gain on the 4th down to have a 10-yard gain from their starting position? Okay, well, we know on the first example we just said they've gained 3 yards. They want to end up having gained 10 yards, so I'm like, how many more yards do I have to gain to get up to 10? Well, if you need the number line, start at the number line and be like, okay, from 3, I've got to get up to 10. How many places? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know 3 plus 7 is 10, so they must gain 7 more yards. All right, so that's it. Try to have a good night.